this moment. Let's just think about it. The minimum wage before was 30,000 naira. Now they want to jump to almost 500,000. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. Then let's also look at, so if they say minimum wage, so we're thinking people from level 1 or level 2, I don't know what level they start from. So if somebody from level 1 is getting nearly 500,000, how much is somebody on level 10 or 15 going to be getting? Have they even thought about it? It's like those people just open their mouth and run.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank everybody that is here today, from Lisa Oluyinka from United Kingdom, and Abiodun Sanusi from Port Harcourt in Nigeria, and Adekunle Adebayo from Port Harcourt, Nigerian, Pastor and Stephen Ologun from UK. You're all welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
To my program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What we discussed today for our case study is about Nigerian Labour Congress and Nigerian TUC. We heard what is we read in Nigeria on social media, on Twitter, on national news, and etc. etc. The Nigerian Labour Congress was demanding 494,000 naira, almost 500,000, as a minimum wages in Nigeria. Now, we want to look at this area, if it's making sense for Nigerian government to be paying 494,000 as minimum wages in Nigeria at this crucial economic crisis in Nigeria. When we look at the benefit of it, we will realize that by demanding for this kind of wages is totally damaging and is totally going to have bad effect on Nigerian economy. If this Joe Ajero, the labor leader, thinking of all other people in Nigeria, he will commanding 494,000. If you think well that the cost of house rent will go up in Nigeria, the cost of domestic materials will go up, transportations, everything will go up, and then the inflations will rise in Nigeria. I did think of those people working in private sectors in Nigeria. So those are the things that we will discuss this evening. By so doing, let me start from Liz Oluyinka. What is your contribution on this demanding of 404,000 at this present time in Nigerian economy?
Can I just ask, how much was the minimum wage before? Was it not 30,000 naira?
Yes.
So they are jumping from 30,000 naira to almost 500,000.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at the gap between, so there is kind of like increase of nearly 1,000% increase. In what planet does that happen? Yeah, on what planet is that gonna happen? That's just ridiculous and stupid. Don't let us even think about can Nigerian afford it or not at this moment. Let's just think about it. The minimum wage before was 30,000 naira. Now they want to jump to almost 500,000. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. Then let's also look at, so if they say minimum wage, so we're thinking people from level 1 or level 2, I don't know what level they start from. So if somebody from level 1 is getting nearly $500,000, how much is somebody on level 10 or 15 going to be getting? Have they even thought about it? It's like those people just open their mouth and running it without actually thinking about the repercussion of what they are doing. If they are fighting, like, look at the increase, 30 to 494. It doesn't make sense. Personally, it doesn't make sense. They need to be a little bit realistic about what they are demanding and asking for.
Thank you very much. Lawyer Abiodun Sanusi, you listen to what Lisa had just said. So what is your opinion?
Well, I think the labor union seem to be, they may call it negotiation, and thinking that, well, you want to negotiate, you put up a very bogus figure, then you start from there. But you don't go into ridiculous proposition to assume that you now drag from there, particularly when it touches on the mood of the nation. Yes, everybody feels the pinch of the time, the economic pressures of the time now, and the inflation, which is high. But at the same time, the economy has its own indices bordering on productivity.
Mm-hmm.
You can't earn what you don't produce. If you think that the federal government will even pay that amount or will concede to something fairly lower than that, what happens to state government, local governments, and even the private sector? Yeah, who may become hamstrung by the high expectations of their workers. It's not sustainable. It's not what the government, even federal government, cannot pay it.
Mm-hmm.
But they believe in some quarters is that, oh, National Assembly is earning so much, so why can't we? Well, that is another discussion for another day. But as for labor, taking 490 something, or even negotiating from that point of expectations, it's ridiculous. I think, and it's the general belief in many quarters that third forces are involved in this negotiation. Labor has got itself into politics.
Mm.
Okay. Lawyer Lekan, Adekunle Adebayo.
Yes, sir.
So what is your opinion on this issue? Does it make sense that Labour, the Nigerian Labour Congress, demanding 494,000, remain about 6,000 to clock $500,000?
500.
Or does it make sense? Do you think that they were acting on the interest of Nigerian today?
Yeah, thank you. Like the last two speakers have rightly said, is quite ridiculous and is unachievable. I don't know who gave them the calculation or whatever, but according to lawyers, I don't see it is true. Sometimes when we are on negotiating table, when we are through negotiation, these are kind of gimmicks. These are kind of something to just upset the opposing party in a negotiation table, because from the mere looking at it, it's ridiculous, it's unthinkable, it's unachievable, and it even can cause unimaginable damage to because the 494 by my mathematics is over 1,600%. You understand? Over 1,600%, because 1,600% even will give you 480. 30 to 480, which is 1,600. 16 times 30 is so much. Yeah. But having said that, really, like we said, it's part of negotiation gimmick. And because I am having from the grapevine that they have down to 100, they are like expecting 100. The federal government also did well, because definitely labor will go on strike. If, let's say, government was on 200, but government is more being tactical and more realistic in their approach, because when you play into their hands, you do something that you cannot even afford, something that is not sustainable. The 30,000 that has been on grant, I can tell you that we still have record of close to 60 states that is not paying up to 32 as we speak. You understand? Even Port Harcourt, River State in Port Harcourt, that is another city that you think they are doing minimum wage. It's not 100% of the workers that earns minimum wage of up to 30,000. So, looking at what Ajaero and his team are doing, I think they got a big run. They were a bit petulant in the sense that they rather childishly they play into the gallery of people saying that, oh, oil has moved from about 200 over 300-400%. Even when you say 300%, people will see you as being serious. But this 1,600% increase, where is that coming from? So a 300% increase will be something like 120, because that will be 90,000 over the 30. That will make it like 120. That's 400, I mean 300%, which is more like maybe you say feasible for government to even want to negotiate. So is they've turned the whole thing to a laughing stock, and also misinform the uninformed public. The general public does, everybody is just saying, this thing has doubled, this thing has doubled. They don't know that the 30K, when it is double, is just 500,000. You understand? So they misinform everybody. They were playing on the gallery and playing on the intelligence of majority of Nigerians. These guys are probably, you know, let's leave the biases and some of the other things. But quite frankly, what they're asking for cannot be achieved. It's not possible, and it's unachievable.
Thank you very much, Adebayo Adekunle. Pastor, listen to the different speakers, from Lisa to Abiodun, lawyer Abiodun, and Adekunle Adebayo. So what is your input? 494,000 minimum wages in Nigeria. Does it make sense? Or is it the right time to request?
Okay, thank you. I don't want to comment on. Yeah, I don't want to comment on the reasonability of that demand, whether it makes sense or not. But then I want us to look at the saying of the wise that there is no smoke without fire. So what exactly is the fire that triggers this smoke? Why do we have this problem? The reason why we have the problem is because there is economic, and when there is economic hardship, people will think that if I have more money, then I can solve more problems. If I have more money, I will be able to, I can afford more things. Unfortunately, in this situation, that is not the case. So when now that people are calling for a review of a minimum wage, What exactly is the problem on ground? We have unmanageable inflation. And why do we have this unmanageable inflation? I mean, there are many factors responsible, in my opinion. Petrol price has gone up. Price of crude oil has gone down. The government will argue. Production of food and other essential commodity has gone down. Of essential commodity is lower than demand, which means demand is greater than supply. Exchange rate is skyrocketing. Imported goods are becoming more and more difficult to get, and even the few ones available are too expensive to buy. And on top of it, the government officials are not living by example. So they continue to live expensive or lavish life they are living as if nothing is happening in the society. So obviously they are supposed to set example for everybody to follow. If economy is hard, you that is responsible, you that is in charge of the economy, demonstrate to us that we are feeling your pain. It is not that the people are feeling the pain and you are living lavishly. Demonstrate to us that what we are going through, you too, you are going through the same thing. So if this is the case, then all of us, nobody will have reason to complain. We all know that, look, this is a trying moment for everybody. So soon and very soon, we will overcome. But then when they make this demand of 490,000, the question is that going to solve the problem? Is the price of things going to stay the same? I mean, stay as it is now? So the moment people hear that you are earning 490,000, of course, something you can buy in the market for 1,000 naira today will turn to 50,000 as the case may be. So it will be like the case of how do the English people used to put it? Fox chasing his tail. So the problem you want to solve, you find out that you are even chasing the problem more in the same circle. So increasing the wages, in my opinion, is not going to solve any problem. What is going to solve problem is to look at the factors. Look at all the factors responsible for inflation and begin to deal with them. In the absence of that, wage increase is not going to solve the problem. Keeping the wages as it is not going to solve the problem. The refusal of the politician to embrace a low-profile life is also not going to solve the problem. We are not saying that they are abstractly responsible, but then they are equally part of the blame. So that's my opinion.
Thank you, Pastor Stephen Ologun. From where you stop, you mentioned the politician. On from there. The country where we are today, United Kingdom or America or across the world, we all knew how much the MP are receiving in UK here, their salary. At the same time, people here to make noise and it's died down. The quickest way to make money is by what? Become a politician or enter politics.
In Nigeria or
all over the world.
All over.
The easiest way to make money, join the politics. That's the easiest way. All over the country, all over the world.
Well, I've lived, sorry to cut you, I've lived in few countries in Europe, and I want to disagree with that.
Yeah.
I honestly disagree with that. I disagree with.
Okay, let me learn. Let me learn, please.
Let him learn
with that. In Nigeria, maybe, but
let me learn, please.
In other places where I have been.
No, this is what I said.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
It's the easiest way to make money. When you join the politics, you know that your lifestyle change in UK, across the world. Your lifestyle change entirely. But when there's some people lifestyle change, we see what's really going on here as well. But we can't judge that because the salary of the senator, House of Reps, they were getting almost million. And we want to base our assumption that the salary or wages of salary should go up. Let us set an example in UK here. You've listened that all those MP, what are they doing in Parliament? There was an argument on it that what are they doing there? Still, every year or every few years, they increase their wages. Where we are not saying that our politicians at home, that they too should be getting 30,000 or 70,000 or 90,000 because they were receiving, and the minimum wages should go to 494,000. If these people are, they were really realistic to themselves, according to Adebayo, this thing is political motivation. What they were doing, Nigerian Labour Congress, they diverted their attention of fighting for the workers. Now they've diverted attentions into politics. By so doing, demanding ridiculous salary from the federal government, with it, you want to cage the federal government and putting Nigeria into what? Into slavery. To me, it's not making sense. Can we ask ourselves, how much is Joe Ajero? How much is his salary? Nobody knows.
If I can quickly come in, sir. There is no way you can separate politics from trade or labor union. Anywhere on earth, they all go together. I've lived in few countries in Europe, and I know one thing: politics don't make people rich. I'm an Austrian citizen. Politics don't make anybody rich in Austria, but it can make you famous or popular, depending on how you relate. I mean, how you relate with people and discharge your duty, your office. So that is one thing I know, and that is what politics is meant to be. When we ask for independence, we are saying that all citizens should be a slave to another person. So that is the essence of our independence. Otherwise, we'll continue. It is not to replace our, if we replace our colonial masters with local colonial masters, then we are still not free. So we can only enjoy our freedom the moment we bring equality into our system. But in a system where our politicians are so far above a normal citizen, then don't talk about independence in that type of setup. So what, now going back to what we are demanding, even if politicians will earn that much, like this country where you cite as an example, the gap between the salary of an MP in UK and that of a school head teacher, I don't think if it is up, if you are going to calculate it, I wonder if it is up to £3,000 or £4,000 a year.
Yeah.
That is it. So when you look at it, their job is in proportionate to the salary. Everybody's job is in proportionate to the salary they earn here. But in Nigeria, most of these are politicians. They are on part-time. Some of them don't even resume in office in matter of days, if not weeks. Yet they go home with millions of salary and allowances. They come out to live lavish life. We are seeing it. So if they are living and we are not seeing it, if they are not flouting the word to our face, that would be a different thing. But they are doing that one to us. An average worker who will work 30 or 40 hours a week will go home at the end of the year with his wages. He cannot even buy the basic things he needs to live, let alone building a house, buying a car. I mean, if we continue like that, we are making a slavery of our own citizens, and such things should stop.
Thank you, Pastor Logun. Thank you, Pastor Logun. Now, Lisa.
Yes, sir.
With the economic situation in Nigeria, with the way people are facing hardship, things are costly. With all, with this demanding of 494,000, what did you think that those workers working in the private sectors, what do you expect from them?
Okay, thank you. I don't know much about Nigerian labor, how working in Nigeria is or anything, but if I think about how it is in the UK, so number one, before you start demanding something from your government or calling a strike, you need to be 100% sure those governments love the citizen and they want the best for the citizen. Now, the junior doctors in the UK are going to go on strike very soon because they want more money. When you look at what the junior doctors are doing in our NHS today, and you can see the gap is going to leave if they are not at work, and the stress is going to put on the nurses, the government will step in and will say, you know what, let's have a sit down. Let's talk about what this is going to cost the people who need urgent treatment. And quickly they find a solution. A few years ago, the universities in Nigeria were on strike for nearly, I think it was like 2019 or so. They were at home for 2 years. Nobody cares. When they were tired, they all went back.
Yeah, you're right.
The government don't care. Whether you strike today or you don't strike, the government in Nigeria don't care. That's this one thing these people supposed to understand. Now, let's talk about the hardship. Everywhere, all over the world, inflation is going up. There is hardship everywhere, not just in Nigeria. People are only talking about it in Nigeria because, number one, the entitlement mentality that almost every one of them have got in that country, including the government. That is the number one reason why they believe the hardship that is going all over the world, that started since the lockdown, since COVID in 2020. They believe it's only in Nigeria that there is hardship. There is hardship in the UK. There is hardship in America. There is hardship in France. There is hardship in Japan, in China, everywhere. But then how does the government deal with this hardship? These people calling a strike, demanding for 494,000 from 30,000 up to there. They need to sit down and see what other countries are doing that makes sense. Look at the UK. From I quickly wrote it down, from 2021 to 2022, our minimum wage nationally, don't let me talk about London, was 891. £8.91 per hour. A year later, it increased by £1, not double.
Yeah. That's it.
Not times 3, not times 10, by £1. Now, a year later, increases again by £1.
Yeah.
Now in 2024, it increased by another £1 to £11.44 per hour. When you multiply this, depending on how many hours you are doing in a job or whatever, it will comes down to everybody will get the minimum wage of probably £23,000 per annum, from like £21,000 per annum. £2,000 difference, not doubled, not 3 times. Now the people that, and even with that, when you now go to the market to go and get your food stuff, you can actually see the extra 50p here, 20p there, 10p here, 15p here. Not something you went to the market yesterday and it's £1, and then you go today, it's 10 pounds, like they do in Nigeria. I think it was 2 years ago, somebody was telling me that the landlord increased the what is it called? The house rent.
Yeah.
From 300,000 naira to 650,000 naira. And then I asked the person, I said, did the landlord giving you like solar or generator, or they repainted the whole house, or what exactly did the landlord do? He said the landlord didn't do nothing. The landlord said there is inflation and they are increasing the salary. So he also needs to increase. This is what we are talking about. This is what they are not thinking of before they start making this demand. Even the woman selling coconut, selling pepper in the market will increase. Somebody plucking the vegetable from their backyard, they will also increase it, because they believe the salary has increased, so everything else needs to increase. Now, let me now come to the private sector that you're talking about. Here in the UK, whether you are private or you are public sector, everybody is bound by the same rule. Is it the same in Nigeria? No. So what pressure are they going to put on the people in the private sector? Before you start making all these demands, people need to also have a little bit of understanding and common sense and compassion for the people.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Adekunle Adebayo, do you think that our system is corrupted?
It's a yes. Our system is highly corrupted, if we have to say. We can't hide under, you can't hide under a finger, definitely. So I think Lisa just split most of these things into perspective, and I'm even wondering as if she lives in Nigeria. Yeah. I mean, our problem is just about the fact that that feeling, that empathy is not from the people that are ruling us. You understand? And this anger from the people, even though the people that make up the people in government is we ourselves. I mean, to even tell you, I used to tell people, the feelers is that we that are even outside the government will be worse if we have opportunity to get that. Because everybody, like you said, when you say politics, politics gives you a lot of things. And from this part of the world, if it's not as common, I think you are speaking the mind of Nigerians. In Nigeria here, politicians and politics is the highest industry, is the most lucrative, is the all in all. It is where you are and you can be somebody, you can be anything
overnight.
Because thank you. Because there is apart from your salary, there are other pecuniaries that goes with it. Those pecuniaries are even some of the things that is given and the lower individual the headache, because those pecuniaries they are in multiple of the salary. The salary may not be much, but and this thing goes on like on a monthly basis and amounts to unimaginable amount that you cannot. So, and like we said, the impact of what government is doing is really not positively impacting our people. The empathy, the love for the people to do the right thing, or to care for the masses is not there. They say some of these things by way of mouth. So the euphoria of some of these vexation is part of what got into labor union people and begin to, so the indiscipline I think more than the corrupting thing that you are talking, I think it's about the fact that we are not disciplined as a people. This indiscipline is costing us so much, and it's part of our pain. Let me just leave it at that, and so I'll continue.
Thank you, Adekunle Adebayo.
Thank you.
Lawyer Abiodun Sanusi.
Yes.
Now, we mentioned politics, that in Nigerian, the easiest way, the quickest way to become a multimillionaire, billionaire, is in, let's say, especially Africa. We knew some politicians in Nigeria. Let me pick one. Dino Melaye.
I was expecting the name.
Dino Melaye, thank you very much. Dino Melaye, he was a former senator, I think 1 term or 2 terms.
Yeah.
He went there, he became what? Not multimillionaire, a billionaire. With the money that this guy gathered together, acquired together, no industry, no hotels, no anything tangible that his own community will benefit from it, rather than invest in all his money on luxurious cars, display it on social media, and then making noise, bragging. Now, with his salary, he went to Dubai to buy a house there or flatting it on the internet or social media. And this is the kind of what we are talking about today. When these same people, when these same politicians, when these same selfish people, when these same great people, when these shameless people that calling themselves a politicians being corrupted, embezzle our money, and the same people antagonize, the same people attacking President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the same people and his group attacking the federal government that they don't do nothing, they don't do this, that. But did they so forgotten so soon of their record when they were there that they did not do anything? So what do you want to say? What is your idea? What's your opinion on this Dino Melaye and his own group of people?
If Dino Melaye was in APC,
Yeah.
I think he would be criticizing. It's about it's more of politics than anything else. And he has never pretended to be defending the people anyway, except that is used as a ruse to still advance the antagonism. Dino is just the poster boy of what a typical politician goes home with in Nigeria, because he's not tactical about flaunting his own wealth. We all know how politicians live, starting from even the local government chairman.
Yes, they live life.
Up there. At the National Assembly, we all scream about what they take home and all that, forgetting that these characters still have oversight functions, membership of in their oversight functions, membership of committees, where allocations are, budgetary allocations are still set aside. Part of budgetary allocations has been set aside for their personal benefits. Apart from that, before every parastatals and agency comes to defend their budgets, there are things they must do, which is still pecuniary, which has to do with money. And another politician will tell you that getting there or keeping the office is very expensive. If he wants to tell the truth, a few that wants to really face it will tell you it's expensive, and it's actually expensive. That's just the truth. It's actually expensive, but at whose cost? A country that is not productive in any sector. The oil we produce makes us even poorer because per capita production of oil in Nigeria, you know, they'll be telling us a country where we have oil. We are an oil poor country. You know, having regard to the population that has to live off the earnings of the oil. There's nothing for, that is the reason why the politicians in their greed cornered the whole lot to themselves, because it's not enough to go around. It's not. We're comparing ourselves with Dubai and Saudi Arabia and all that. What is the population of those countries compared to what they earn from oil sales, also import? And these are people that even still diversify and earn from other sources, apart from the fact that they protect jealously their oil wealth from being pilfered and even stolen. Here, ships, vessels enter the country and move off with crude oil that are not accountable, that nobody accounts for. So that is the lot of the country. It's a messed up situation. So back to the main discussion of the day, the issue of Ajaero and his 490,000. Maybe we don't learn from history. Now the country is poor. Now there's high inflation, and we want to introduce high earning capacity, high earning freebies for workers. After the civil war in Nigeria, Nigeria made a lot of money. Nigeria saved a lot of money because as at that time we were not importing as such. And the Udoji money was pushed out because the military government then felt that there's so much money to go around. The inflation that ensued is still haunting us till today. It's still haunting us till today because what it led to was that our lifestyle changed dramatically, and we depended on importation and expensive lifestyle. Yeah. Things we are not producing became our pastime, became our main course, and that is what we are suffering to today. An average Nigerian look around an average Nigerian. What it depends on are not made in Nigeria, and these are capital flights that we suffer from today. So I believe so, if the Ajaero gets his 490,000 naira minimum wage, and the money is there, which is even not there, Nigerians will go on spending spree, and we will not be living off our productivity.
Thank you, Lawyer Biodun Sanusi. Let me throw the question to Adekunle Adebayo. When some Nigerians supporting Nigerian Labour Congress, Nigerian Labour Congress, that Nigerian federal government should increase their salary to 494,000. The Mr. Femi Falana also supported them, and later he drove back that if they strike more than 2 days, federal government will not pay them their money. With it now, with all these prominent Nigerians calling for the increasement of wages from 494,000, to me, did all these people think that the Nigerian economy is in what? Is a mess? Did they think of it? Or are they selfish of themselves? Or they don't want, I don't know what I can say. Maybe they hate President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They don't want him there. They just want to collapse the Nigerian economy. What's your opinion and your idea?
Yeah, it's a tough call, Really, I think everybody, just like we have said, we were just in the euphoria of the hardship, and everybody is just talking without thinking. That's when the 494 comes about. It's just the accumulation of all the hardship and the annoyance of flamboyancy from the people in government and the etc. behaviors of people like Dino Milai, flaunting wealth and all this, so without any substance of productivity. That is why the majority of even elites and majority of Nigerians believe that definitely wages will increase. But having said that, everybody is getting to the level now that is now realizing that is this thing even achievable? But before, the euphoria was on everybody. They were putting all sort of, and they were not even thinking. But now they now know that what they are even asking for cannot be achieved. It can never be achieved. It's unachievable. There are even no basis for it, because we can't just increase one day increase salary by 1,000 when the one. So you know, when we started, Lisa started with the fact that where are we from? Where are we coming from? We are coming from a party 30,000. You understand? So it can't move more than maybe 100% or at most 200%. And even at that, that's going to have its own implications. And that now boils all down to what Pastor Ologun said when we started. Those cardinal reasons, those fundamental things that need to be put in place for the government. So the government of the day is trying its best. They want to put those statistics, to put those things, to kind of to right some of the wrongs. Yet it's been antagonized, it's been so the people that are versing for him are more than people that are praying that he should. So we have a situation in the country whereby people, because of what has happened, they have become more patriotic. But meanwhile, what they are doing is not to President Bola Tinubu. They are killing the entire system. So everybody needs to really watch their actions and see the overall, and also we need to show more concern ourselves that, oh, let's give this government a chance. Because when you give somebody, not chance really, you give person the benefit of the doubt that, oh, we support you, whatever thing you are going on the right track. But definitely it's not by going for 491, which is not sustainable. I can assure you that Ajaero has people like Ajaero and the rest of them rise on a vehicle of what, 200 million. I mean, one of the APC guy, Jesu or whatever, said that Ajaero himself is he's not fighting for Nigeria. He's not fighting for Nigerian workers. His own case is by the side. It's partisan. You understand? Yeah. But having said that, the situation is in a mess, and I think the president has a very good approach. You understand? If only people can just support and align with the policies. Some of the wrongs of the past, they are trying to right it, and that could push us a bit into prosperity. Like I used to tell people, when we were little, I mean, it's always be there is hope, there is hope, there is hope. I'm now into my 50s, and I don't see that, and I've not seen that. So I'm like almost losing hope now. That
no, hope is still coming. Hope is still coming.
Amen. Thank you.
That's nice.
I'll pause here. Let's talk.
Amen.
Thank you very much, Adekunle Adebayo. You
Thank you,
mentioned
sir.
one phrase there, sustainable. Pastor Stephen Ologun, what did you think that the federal government can do in Nigeria to make Nigeria sustainable at this time of hardship, at this time of Labour Congress demanding for 484,000? So what do you think that the federal government can do to make our economy sustainable?
Yeah, I think if the federal government themselves know it, they will have done it a long time ago. So the problem is this. I mean, somebody made mention of Dino Melaye and the way he lived. For me, Dino Melaye didn't do anything wrong because he simply flouting the wealth that was legitimately paid to him. So his salary was paid to him, all the emolument, all the allowances, everything were paid to him legally, and he wasn't the only one. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Sorry. Do you think that Dino Melaye, his salary that you said is legitimate, what all those worth?
Look, you should have let me land. Now, the point is, this man, he wake up every month and meet all this money in his account as entitlement being paid to him. Not that he forcefully demanded anywhere, and not that he stealed any of this money. He didn't steal a penny. It was paid to him. Now, if the system that is paying that much, okay, for example, how much do we make in a year? Let me put it at a round figure of 100,000. Of this 100,000, if my church is paying me 98,000 in a year out of this 100,000, and they are paying me legitimately, if I choose to flout the wealth and come to church every time with different type of jeep, and then use the money to oppress the members that are making, have I done anything wrong? So I'm simply living on what so if there is anything you need to deal with the system that is wrong. So the foundation, you can't build a good house on a faulty or on a wrong foundation. It won't make sense. So deal with that foundation itself. The foundation is what is causing our problem. This is a constitution we are operating upon. Was something that General Sani Abacha of blessed memory, may his soul rest in peace, he sat down maybe in his sitting room with a group of people that are, that are his loyalists, thinking that he is going to succeed himself. He drafted this constitution, and this is exactly what became Nigerian constitution today. So the constitution will have empowered him to reward himself and all his loyalists to the maximum. The people in power are using, that's what they are operating upon today. So take all these politicians, cut their income, whether a past or present, governor or whatever, cut everything, cut their income, cut their allowances, cut their salary, cut it by up to a maximum of 70%. And let every one of us be on the same equilibrium and see whether there won't be change in a space of 1 year.
Thank you very much, Pastor Sidiologo. Our time is going now. So, do you mean that when they cut the salary of these all these senators and the House reps, so
bring every Nigerian to equilibrium? Yes, that's what I'm saying. Let every one of us be on the same level.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Whether you cut the salary in one side or you increase it in another side, whatever you want to do, bring everybody to equilibrium and see what the result will be after 1 year.
Thank you very much. Lawyer Biodo Sanusi, You add what a pastor Togologun. Now, what did you think that is right for the federal government to do to make our country sustainable? Just, you got 2 minutes. Our time is gone. You spend 1 hour now. Our time is gone now.
A country does not become sustainable without industrialization. In productivity, that is it. Nigeria is not producing. It's as simple as that. We live off patronage. That's what they call 10% and all that. Renters. That's all. Nigeria is not sustainable and it's not moving towards sustainability. Ajaokuta is dead. Ikotabasi, iron smelting company, is just as if we cannot produce. Oshogbo, Katsina and all that. The steel mills. The steel mills. Do you know that the second Niger bridge is being looted?
Yes, I add it. I read it.
Vandalized. How do you sustain that kind of a country? How many trains have been attacked in recent times? Attacked train. Are we really sick? That will be attacking trains. Between just between Kano and Abuja and Kaduna, and I've been watching the one between Port Harcourt and Aba will soon be attacked too. We don't disappoint in such things. And so where is the sustainability here? As for Tinubu's handling of the labor, I think they are doing well for now. We know what Ngige did in his time as labor minister, with universities going on strike for two years it used to linger for several months and even years. But I think even Tinubu is ready to meet them if necessary. Not like the immediate past president that doesn't even check on his ministers. Because as far as I'm concerned, Ngige played a damaging role in that government, deliberately making labor to go endlessly without finding any solution. So I think within the next 2 days, I think they will be able to resolve with labor coming down from their high horse and achieving something. But for now, we are not even getting near industrialization at all. And there's no science and productivity exalts a nation. That is the modern thinking.
Thank you very much. Lawyer Abiodun Sanusi. Now, I'm coming back to, at least we answered the last question. We got to go now. Adekunle Adebayo.
Okay.
Now, what is your advice to the federal government of Nigeria concerning this 494,000? Just, you got 1 minute, please.
Oh, thank you. Like the last speaker has just said, I think they are handling it very well. We all know that at the end of the day, the amount being paraded in terms of bid, that is what the bid they have put forward is too high, it's not achievable, it's not, and like I told you, not very open yet, but they are like 1 mile 100. So, but then, I'm not sure the government will even meet up the 100. But somehow they have considered, and that's that's the value, or we say the joy of negotiation. Everybody will have to, shift ground, and we will meet at a meeting point. But Everybody now in Nigeria knows that between 160, wherever we meet, we can work with it. It's achievable.
Thank you very much. So, Lisa,
Yes.
what can you give your advice to the Nigerian Labour Congress and to the federal government of Nigeria?
Thank you.
So
What
just
I'm
one
gonna
minute,
say is probably maybe now or in the future, before they start making demands, they should see what other countries are doing that makes it doable for their governments to say yes to demands. Don't make demands that will make it very, very easy for the government to say, go to hell. But make a demand that will make the government say, okay, let's have a sit down and talk about this. So they need to actually see what other countries are doing. Get down from their high horse and talk to people with sense.
Thank you
That
very
will
much.
be able to advise them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Pastor Logan, 1 minute, your advice to the federal government and Nigerian Labour Congress.
Yeah, continue with
Just 1 minute.
the negotiation, and hopefully there will be an achievable, tangible end to everything. So I wish the federal government all the best. I wish the people of Nigeria good luck.
Thank you very much. Lawyer Abiodun Sanusi,
Yes.
1 minute. Did you have any advice for the federal government? You got to go now. So just 1 minute. So, past 1 hour.
Well, the federal government, like I said, has been discussing, and I believe they can't let up in their discussions, because we are all it's heating up the polity, and the shutdown of the national grid will have a telling effect. If they just gave 5 days, which has to be redeemed, and before then, the discussion must be concluded, and a final resolution made. Ajero should think about moving to states which will not comply. Governors are the emperors of the land, and we seem not to be showing concern for these people who are ruling as if they are above the law. They should go to the states that are not paying and enforce payments there, not just concentrate on federal government as if with that, just like somebody said earlier, with that mentality, that entitlement mentality.
Yeah. Thank you very much. We've reached the end of our program. I thank you all. Lisa, I thank you for your participation on this program.
Thank
I
you
thank
very
you,
much.
Adekunle Adebayo, from Port Harcourt, Nigerian. I thank you, Pastor
Thank
Logo
you.
from UK. Yeah.
My pleasure.
Lawyer Abiodun Sanusi, thank you for accepting my invitation. When I need you guys next time, I will get in touch with you. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Have
Thank
a good
you.
evening. Bye.
Bye.
You too. Bye.
Bye. You too. Bye. Pastor Logan, bye.